What's good? What's up? What's going on? Eagles Galaxy, Eagles Nation, Eagles fam, all the kinfolk cousins, and everybody watching. Tonight, it's another episode of the Eagles Elite Podcast. We're going to bring it. We always do. So it's only going to be four of us tonight. Shout out to one of our fam members. She's not going to be able to make it, but that's okay. Storm in the area, so we're going to hold it down for her. But guys, we're going to go ahead and start getting the squad in here. Got a lot to talk about. Just want to say before I bring anybody on, just like every week, no one likes us, and we don't care. Why what's going on, man?
Not too much, man. I'm ready to talk about them birds rolling into week 9 here.
Sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Tight one last week, but we'll get to that. We'll definitely get to that.
For sure.
And next, we're going to bring on our Eagles diva.
What's good, gang?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And last, but definitely not least, the Rowdy one himself. Rowdy Rob is back after the week hiatus. How's things going, Rob?
Hiatus too, buddy.
I hear that, man. I hear that. So, we here. It's Eagles time. It's Eagles talk. That's what we do every week. We love when we get our fam, which is y'all, to hop in, give us some comments, tell us how y'all feel about everything. Before we get into all that, it might be a little thing we want to drop off real quick. Stay tuned.
The kick is away, and the kick is it's gone! And the Eagles win!
It's hard to come to South Philadelphia and leave here with the win. You just don't come to Philadelphia and leave here with the win.
Eagles fans everywhere, this is for you. Let the celebration begin.
Ooh, the intro is fire. Gets me going, gets the juices flowing, gets me ready for Eagles talk. So we're going to go ahead and drop topic number 1, breaking news. So Wyatt and anyone else who has any breaking news they want to talk to us about what's going on in the world of Philadelphia Eagles this week.
Yes, sir. Not too much going on within the, since we played this last game. Since we have officially signed safety Andre Chichere to the active roster, he's been a beast on special teams in the games we brought him up. So now we brought him up 3 times now, so we had to sign him to the active roster if they wanted to bring him up another time. And they also signed tackle Fred Johnson to the practice squad. So just a couple of little signings, not too much going on. Haven't heard really anything as far as injury-wise, so it seems like everybody's good to go here, rolling into the weekend, coming up on the Monday night game, which we'll get to. Other than that, just some small little stats here. Miles Sanders, the first Eagles running back to record 450-plus rushing yards and 4 touchdowns in the first 6 games of a season since LaShawn McCoy in 2011. So, we needed a running back like this here, especially in this type of season. We're loaded, and Miles Sanders, man, is firing on all cylinders going forward. Hopefully we can get that going forward to the rest of the season as well into the playoffs. And last thing I had here is CJ GJ is the first Eagle with an interception in 4 straight games since Bill Bradley in 1972. So that's pretty crazy stuff, man. He just keeps continuing his dominant streak here, and I cannot wait to see what he does going forward.
He is a straight benefactor of the 2 DBs. Straight benefactor. Oh, yeah. It's because you got the number 1 and number 2 with Slaying Badbury, and CJ's feasting back there. I love it. Personally, he's shining. Yeah. Keep it going,
But you got to remember, too, if he's not good enough to handle that, we're in trouble. So that's why picking him up, to me, was a major move, because that fixed something that could have been an issue.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's really all I had as far as like news. There really wasn't too much that caught my eye. Maybe you saw something I didn't, though. Cool.
I mean, but there is something that I would like to discuss that I've been hearing a lot about, and we're gonna go to Eagles Diva first to talk about this. So we're gonna consider this breaking news. So apparently we haven't played anybody. Apparently we're 80-0, but we haven't played anybody, right? So Eagles Diva, I would love to hear your thoughts on the fact that we're 8-0, but we haven't played anybody. I don't understand how that works. We played 8 NFL teams, and one of the teams that people are saying that, oh, they're waiting to see us play is the Cowboys with Dak Prescott. I'm sorry, but if you're a Cowboys fan and you believe that Dak Prescott makes that much of a difference, I don't have any more words for you. So, Eagles Diva, talk to us.
Well, first of all, you know that they feel like Dak is their hero because they're garbage. Who else are they going to count on? You know what I'm saying? 2, we haven't played nobody, but we did play Minnesota, and they are 6-2 or 1?
They're 7-1.
7-1 now.
Yeah,
It's just
we
a
ain't played nobody.
or they'd be undefeated.
So you mean to tell? So what y'all want us to play? God, and you want us to play Wakanda forever? Like, I mean, who y'all want us to play? Like, I'm trying to make sense of
The Wakandan army, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, we gotta go fight the Justice League. I mean, what's up? Like, I'm just saying, like, who else do y'all want us to play? The only people we haven't played yet are the Bills, and I think they're in trouble because Josh Allen now has an injury that could be a while before he come back. So, who else? Everybody in the league is garbage. That's not our fault. Is that our fault? Oh,
Well, I have an answer for you, but I'm going to wait until after everyone else has an opportunity to go, and then I'm going to give you my answer on who we need to play in order for people to feel like that we play somebody, in my opinion, of course. So, Rowdy Rob, hop on in here, man. I know you have something to say.
You know, I got some shit to say about this, buddy. At the time that we played, the teams that we have played, they were 500 or better. 7 of them were. 7. We made them teams bad, okay? We made the Vikings have the only loss they have, or else we will be talking about the Vikings with the weak schedule and bada. Come on, man. It's all, you know what? We're making everybody else look bad because we're setting the precedent. We're beating the teams we're supposed to be beating, and we're beating the teams that people may have thought that we had a little something going on against. But look, the fact of the matter is you got the best secondary in the league, in my opinion. Whatever, you know. I know the stats statistically stay 1 and 2, but I'll just say the best because that's what they are. But listen, when you got them guys in the backfield, it makes it hard to run the ball. And you're running against a pretty soft run defense. I mean, we're not going out and just trying to clobber boys at the line of scrimmage. We're holding our hat on the secondary, which is why people run against us and why we're okay with that, too, because you can't just run the ball against us the whole game. Because the fact of the matter is you're going to have to throw it on 3rd downs and sometimes like that, and you're not going to be able to. So our defense is holding it down like we're supposed to, and our offense is on fire. Because, well, A.J. Brown and Hurts got something going on. They look good. They look great, in fact. And everybody else is doing their thing. Got it to making catches. You know, you got Fast Batman is the guy I will watch out for. He's coming on to something right now. Devontae's going to have a big game here soon. I don't know when, but it'll happen soon. And then Quez Watkins is just, you know, he's a third, you know. I would rather throw the ball to Goddard because I would rather have them 3 guys catching the ball the most, but they're doing their thing, and people are mad about it, especially, and one more time, especially them Cowboys fans because they took an L too.
And man, so you mean to tell me, Rob, that the fact that every week it was like, oh, let's wait till the Eagles play them. But then after the Eagles beat the teams are no longer any good.
Right? Because we put them under 500. Right? They were either 500 or better when we played them. 7 teams. We only played 8 teams. We played 1 team that was below 500. We beat 7 teams that were above 500 or 500. And we made them 500 teams less than. So now they're not even 500 teams. So now it makes our shit look bad because we're beating the shit out of people.
Wyatt, hop on in here, man. What you got?
Yeah, man. I said it before, and I'm gonna say it again. When you are the best, it makes every team you play look weak and look easy. Like it doesn't matter who you gonna play. Everybody's gonna say you have an easy schedule, but I mean it's the NFL, man. You play the schedule you're given. It's hard to, no matter what team you're playing, it's hard to get a win every single week. I don't care if they have one win or if they're undefeated. I mean, you have teams just like the Texans, which we're going to talk about, come out and kind of smacked us in the mouth there in the first quarter or so. We weren't expecting them to come out with that kind of intensity. So, I mean, any given Sunday, man, it doesn't matter what team it is. So I hate the argument about easy schedule, because I don't think there really is an easy schedule in the NFL. It's all professional players and they're all NFL teams. We just happen to be the best.
Do you know? I want to add to that right there, man. It's like, okay, they came out and smacked us in the mouth, but then we knew it was quarter number 2 was going to happen. We were going to play murder ball, and they would have to play catch up the rest of the game. And you can't run the ball catching up. You got to pass the ball, and we hang our hat on.
We want to save that. We got that segment. We definitely going to talk about that game, sir. All right. But I have a list that may be acceptable for teams that we could have beat and maybe get credit for being 8-0 and the team we're playing this week. So I'm going to give you 9 teams that if we played these teams, you may possibly give the Eagles more credit than what we're getting, right? So our first game I have is the 1972 Dolphins. They were undefeated, so maybe if we beat them, we'll get some credit, right? The second game I have us playing the 2007 undefeated regular season Patriots. Maybe if we beat them in a regular season game, along with beating, the 72 Dolphins, maybe, but that may not be enough. So third, I have the Archangels with God at quarterback, Michael and Gabriel as just wide receivers. Maybe if we beat them as well, maybe. But maybe they're just not good enough because they haven't played together a lot, right? So if we add to that the 1985 Bears with that defense, possibly. I don't know. We're still 4-0. It's still all they're going to lose next week. Wait until they play the 2000 Baltimore Ravens with Ray Lewis and all those guys in their prime. Maybe if we beat those 5 teams, but that's only 5-0, right? So that still may not be enough. So the next week I have us playing Lucifer and the Demons from Hell. Maybe if we can beat them as well as beating the Angels and God, possibly. That still may not be enough. So then I have us playing the 1989 San Francisco 49ers that mollywopped the Dolphins in the Super Bowl. Maybe, just maybe, that's enough. But just in case, that's still only 7-0. You got to play somebody else.
It was the Broncos, I think, man.
Oh, yeah, it was the Broncos. You're right.
Oh,
and
they bringing. I hated that team, dude. They were kicking our butt. For
the 8th game, I have us playing the Monstars. So maybe if we get the Monstars and they get the football from the best people on the team, they get all their talent, maybe that's enough. But just in case, we do have a 9th game this week. So if we beat all those teams, there still may be question marks. So then we need to beat the Avengers this week. And then maybe, just maybe, we'll get some props.
I think that it would be harder against the Justice League because they do have an MVP in Superman. Just saying.
That's what I said.
Well, you got to remember the Avengers have a Hulk.
Oh, yeah.
They have a Hulk.
I mean, they got a billionaire in Batman, man. He could expose some of that dough. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Tony Stark.
Another discussion. Oh, yeah. Forgot.
Yeah, I mean, it's been such a weird season, man. There's only a handful of teams that are actually really good this season, which is very odd in the NFC and AFC. So it's like, other than 4 teams, who else do you expect us to play? I just don't understand it.
Well, look, here's how I see it. Here's how I see it. You got the Seahawks. You got the Vikings. I don't even want to say anybody from the NFC South because they're all garbage. Really? And then there's the Giants, Cowboys, and Eagles in our division. And then there's the AFC East, all of them, or whatever you guys want to say. And then there's the Chiefs. And, I mean, I want to say the Bills because they're who I had in there. But if they're going to have quarterback issues, that's going to be a problem for them. They were going in the number 1 seed when I was thinking Josh Allen was going to be healthy. But now, not so much.
Mm-hmm.
And don't forget about Andy the Cheesesteak Reed and his team.
Yeah, he said Kansas City.
Cheese.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kansas City serious. Oh yeah, for sure.
I just wanted to bring out Angie.
Everybody else looks pretty beatable though. Like, I mean, if the Chiefs even have had their weaknesses here in some of these games, so it's they look human
roll
too.
Over the Chiefs, roll. Our defense is too strong. They ain't gonna score all them points on our secondary. You're wild for that. They're going. Yeah. Andy's gonna run a bunch of screens, thinking we forgot about that when he was coaching us. Nah.
So what we're gonna do now, guys, because we want to make sure we get through everything. Shout out to Jen is not able to make it tonight, Miss Jennifer, but we're gonna go ahead and roll into our Texans game review.
Mm-hmm.
So Rowdy Rob always has a lot to say, so we'll start off with Rowdy Rob. Talk to us about the Texans review, Rob.
I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. Just like, I mean, it was the Texans. They did what I thought they would do. Wyatt touched on it earlier. They came out, kind of punched us in the mouth a little bit, but we're not welterweight. We're heavyweight. We took that shit on the chin and just kind of went and did our business like we normally and have done all year long, which is why people are so mad at they're mad at us. They ain't even mad at the Eagles. They're mad at the fans because they're like, well, yeah, they're just saying shit to us because they know how passionate we are. And some of us can be a little rowdy, whatever. That's cool, I mean, I'm not an asshole about it or nothing, but I could be a little bit passionate or rowdy. Let's air quote that. But I mean, we did what we were supposed to do. At the end of the day, we're 8-0, and we're going into week 10 looking to go 9-0.
What are your thoughts, man?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. What?
No. I mean, of course, we start off slow. I mean, the real big story coming out of this game, I think, is as anybody who watches the games knows, it's like, what's going on with the tackling situation? Like, this could be a problem going through these next stretch of games. Like, I know you were talking about, Rowdy Rob was talking about how they can't run on us all the time. That's true because our secondary is pretty decent at stopping some stuff here and there, but man, we cannot have like Derrick Henry running all over us like the dude from the Texans did. If the Packers somehow get it together and start actually using their run game, that could be causing troubles for us. I mean, they still have issues with their passing game and everywhere else. But, I mean, there's some teams coming up here that are going to have very strong run games. And it seems like as of right now, like the linebackers, the safeties and stuff, they're having some tough issues with tackling and getting some guys on the ground. Like they're getting dragged around for extra yardage, even after grabbing hold of some of these dudes. So I feel like that was a big concern coming out of this game. Some of the defensive calls were very iffy as well through the first half. And then Gannon somehow kind of got it together there in the last half there. But very kind of a slow, sloppy game. It's definitely, you could tell it was a game coming off of a very short week. But overall, I mean, the offense seemed like they were doing pretty well. Jalen Hurts had a very solid game. And I mean, we'll talk about it a little bit then too, is like we did last week, but he's been staying very calm and collected and staying in that pocket, man. And he's been gunslinging. He hasn't really been relying on his feet as much.
Right. I wanted him to run a little bit in that Houston game. I was like, get out of there.
I did too. Because he was getting blindsided on some. Right. The O-line did not look like our O-line. And that could have been because of the short week as well. But there was a couple, man, he didn't even know they were coming at him. He just got railed behind and he didn't even know there was anybody there. And that's where the fumble happened on a couple different plays as well. But that was like his first drop here this year too. That was like his first fumble. So it's going to happen. You're going to have some of these bad games, but it's those good teams that can overcome and end up winning those games, which we've done a couple times this year.
Eagles deal.
I just think that goes to show how good of a team we are. I think we really needed that game once again to prove that, we have our downfalls, but we are able to get it together and overcome. And I just think that makes you good as a team because you got to be able to overcome what's going on and figure out a way. And so we seem like we're always making our way and making the adjustments to where, we out there dominating. Still scared about Gannon. I'm also scared about the not wrapping up. It's like some games they want to wrap up. Some games they want to bulldoze you down. Some games seem like they just let you run on past them. So that definitely needs to be addressed. And if I was a defensive coach, that would definitely be addressed. Like, y'all going to tackle all night until I see some straight tackling, like all night on the field, because that should not be. Wrap up. But other than that, I'm glad that we did have that game, and so I'm glad that it did turn out the way we wanted it to. We got it together and we just started firing, and we couldn't stop us. So that just goes to show you how good of a team we are.
Yeah,
the thing that I
say one thing is Dameon Pierce is a beast. So understand a lot of those tackles look bad because they were attempting to tackle that man, and he is a manimal. I saw him from the preseason. I've watched some of their games, and while the games themselves are very blah, he sticks out like a sore thumb. This guy can run. He does that to every team. So I'm a little concerned, definitely, because I don't want it to happen to us, but he's doing it to everybody. So I don't feel as bad because, like I said, he's been manhandling everyone. He's been one of the few bright spots. Their quarterback, Davis Mills, did what he did against us pretty much all the games. That's why they lose. He starts playing well. He gives you good fantasy numbers. But if you're a fan of that team, you're going to be upset because he always has that bad turnover. And when he has that bad turnover, that's what normally puts them into situations where they're losing the games. So they were true to form against us. Strong defensively on the line. What was his name? I think Houston. He's been doing that to a lot of guys. It's not in a lot of teams. It's not just us either. He's that one kind of star defensive lineman that they have. But outside of him,
is a monster.
Yeah, but outside of him, we didn't really allow a lot of teams to do those things. So I think, like you guys have all said, the short week was a part of it. I think also slightly maybe overlooking Houston and looking forward to this Commanders game because of the divisional game, what happened last time with them having a different quarterback. At the time, they were, 500. So, they're kind of on the rise. So maybe a little looking forward, a little lackadaisicalness just because of the short week. A couple of things kind of came together, a perfect storm. And honestly, props to Houston because they're the first team to hold us to only one touchdown in the second quarter. They took our murder quarter and they took it from us. They did that. And how did they do that? Pierce. He ran it down our throats. And he ran it down our throats some more. And by the time we got the ball, we only had a chance to get one score. They were very smart with how they used the time in the quarter. We missed that field goal at the end, which I thought could have been a detriment going into the third quarter, but we left it there and kept it moving. So I'm just happy that we, put everything together and got the win that we needed. But definitely some things to work on. Eagles Diva pointed those things out perfectly. It was Dameon Pierce, but we want to have that happen. We don't want to have that happen.
No, it makes you miss Jordan Davis a lot more. You really see how he was affecting, the opposing team.
There's a big man in the middle.
Be a big boy.
Yeah. We need someone to block up them holes.
Yeah.
Definitely. So, any other thoughts on the game from last week?
I'm good, man.
Yeah, I got one.
Go for it, sir. Go for it.
Quit when you're hitting a dude. Quit holding him up so your team could come in and try to get a pop on the ball. Take him down to the ground. That's a lot of that stuff too. Like they're getting 5-6 extra yards on all these ones where we're holding the guy up, hoping our other guy is going to come in and put a helmet or a peanut punch on the ball. And it doesn't seem to be working. These guys are hip to that shit in the NFL. I'm not saying you guys are playing like college kids because for some teams that works, but not. This is the NFL, man. That's it works sometimes. It ain't gonna work every week, and it damn sure ain't gonna work against a good defense like the Eagles. So quit. They need to quit trying to make them fumble and wrap them up and get them down to the ground sooner than later because they didn't look good. As they could have last week. They did look good. Let me rephrase that. They did look good, but they didn't look as good as they could have. And maybe it's not about how good they look. Maybe it's all about the dub. And I'm not mad at that at all if that's the case. But, yeesh, it didn't look good. That guy was trucking like that. And it wasn't just Pierce either.
Yeah, Nick Sirianni even said something about that in his press conference here a couple of days ago. They asked him about, of course, the tackling issues. And apparently they took all those couple of days off to really look at the game film. And he even said, they're focusing more on trying to get turnovers when they're tackling, like you said, punching the ball out instead of just grabbing them and pushing them to the ground.
Right.
Where it's like, all right, maybe you should really kind of push your focus to getting these guys down and then maybe try to get the ball out while they're going down.
But wait a second. Is it feast or famine? Because we're plus 15 in the turnover ratio this year. So
yeah,
I mean, like
that's the thing.
They're
hungry.
But I think like they're getting hip to us now. You know what I mean? It's now you got to play good old fashioned football, and either you put the helmet on that first hit, or he goes to the ground, and that's it. Or the peanut punch works too. Either one of those, it is your first move, and you take that guy to the ground. And if you don't drop the ball, at least he ain't got 5 or 6 more yards where they're moving the chains on us.
Yeah.
Or getting ahead of the sticks, you know? So that's it. Yeah.
So we'll go ahead and hop into our next thing here. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to give you the Rowdy Rankings.
Ooh. I got some rankings for you guys. Hey, how about Darius Slay and Bradbury being 1 and 2 in corners this year? What? Yeah, them boys are shining. They're doing their thing. It's a lot of stuff that could be discussed about this last game, but the thing is, the secondary wasn't allowing a whole bunch to go on down the field, and because of that, there was a lot of other stuff going on that we were able to look at and address hopefully during this game. So we'll get better at our run defense. It's not the best in the league, but it's not the worst. So the offense is clicking. I don't care if they're not first in the league. There's people like Mahomes and them guys out there just throwing the ball all over the place against really bad opponents. No, but yeah, we'll be all right, man. Rankings. We're number 1 in the league with an 8-0 record. How about that? That's it, man. We're number 1.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that has been your Rowdy Rankings.
Number 1.
I don't think anything went outside of what we expected with the Rowdy one giving the rankings. So pretty confident we got.
I'm only keeping our best stuff. I'm not talking about the bad stuff.
So now we're on to our player of the game.
Ooh.
So we got to narrow it down to 1, right? 1 player of the game. So Eagles Diva, ladies first. Talk to us.
CJ all day. I mean, you can't go wrong. My boy's balling.
Definitely had a big play to turn the game around. So, hey, can't go wrong with that pick. The Rowdy one, who you got?
See, you know, I'm a trenches kind of guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the trenches were not good. So I'm going to – and because she took my guy over there, CJ, yeah, because he's phenomenal. He's doing his thing. I'm going with Jalen, the field commander, the field general. He doesn't look like a young man. He looks like a grown man out there leading grown men to do grown man things. All day, every day, Jalen is doing that. Even when I'm not saying he's the player of the game, he's the reason I have other players of the game because he's so confident in his – there ain't no swag about what he does. Like, yeah, he does the gritty with Jason Kelsey after touchdowns and whatnot, but there's no, like, extra shit on the field, you know. He's all about the business. When they cross that goal line, there's a little bit, then it's right back to business again. He's cool like the other side of the pillow, as my man Stuart Scott used to say. Rest in peace. You know, real. Yeah, he is. He's just too cool, man. I like him a lot as a quarterback. He reminds me of, dare I say, a little bit better than Donovan used to be at this time in his career because he's confident.
That's not dare you say. That's clear. Right now. That's clearly, yeah.
He's way better than Donovan.
Mhm.
Second year,
Makes way better
second year
ball
starting.
decisions.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Way
okay?
better accuracy. The
Hopefully.
ball's not in the
Yes,
ground.
ball
half the time.
decisions, accuracy, throwing the ball away. So I could go on for days. But
Yeah, but listen, today is a new day and age. Back when Donovan was playing, there was a certain, like, if you didn't play well in Philly, you were just going to get the shit handed to you. And you were just going to have to leave disgusted because you couldn't handle it. I think Donovan did a great job handling this Philly fan back in the 90s and 2000, early 2000 when
I'm not going in that rabbit hole with you, Rob. I'm not going in that rabbit hole with you. I refuse. Wyatt, talk to us. Who's your player of the game? I'm not fooling with Rob.
Jalen is an excellent commander and general on the field. He's a great captain of this team, and I'm going with Jalen.
How about that? Do not take the bait. Go ahead, Rob. Go ahead, Wyatt.
Man, this is a hard one because there's two players I would like to give it to. I'm not going to go with the obvious one though. I'm going to go with Miles Sanders as my player of the game because if they would have given him the ball more, and I mean he already had 17 carries. This dude could have had 150, 200 yards on his ground, even with the O-line not being its tip-top form. He was taking everything they were giving him, man. He was having a great game. I feel like they should have ran the ball a little bit more, whether it was with him, Boston Scott, Gainwell, or Hurts. They should have ran it more because the defense was just letting them running no matter where they were on the field. So, I mean, I'm going to give it to Miles on this one. He had 93 yards and a touchdown. Miles getting touchdowns, like I mentioned before. So he's having a great year. So I'm going to roll with Miles Sanders in this one. But there is another player that I was hoping that maybe you'll talk about here. Cool.
Oh, I will, sir.
Okay,
I will.
I'm not going to take your pick. I'm not going to do it this week.
Oh, I had two. I had two ready, so we're there.
Well, Miles Sanders is looking like he did
fly, fly, baby. Love that. Shout out to the Snowman for that. Now, to get to Wyatt's other guy, because I know who it is. It can only be one person. Dallas freaking Goedert.
Yes.
That's it.
Dallas Goedert is the reason we won that game.
Yeah.
Dallas Goedert came out there, and he should be Power Batman or something after the way he performed for that game. I love to see it. I love him making the plays. No bad drops. Concentrated. Made sure he made the catches. My concern on him going into the season, and it's on tape, so there's receipts for it. My concern for him was making the catches on the simple passes because there have been times in the past where, you throw the ball in this way away, he's going up and grabbing it with one hand and making an excellent play, but then not concentrating and dropping some of the simple ones. That did not happen on Sunday.
Wait,
came his way.
We talked about it.
He swallowed it up like he was a cookie monster, and it was cookies. I love to see it. I was very excited to see it. And those are the type of games that makes it easier for A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Pascal, Watkins, everyone else to get the ball. Why? Because now, if you're the Commanders this week, you better be paying attention to the guy that just torched the Texans. So if Goddard doesn't have as good of a game, that means it's going to slide a little bit over to swole Batman, a little skinny Batman, maybe a touch or two for fast Batman down the field. So it just opens it up for everybody when one guy goes off. And with it not being Brown this week or Smith, you get a chance for them to both have pretty solid games this week because you're going to have to plan to take Goddard out unless you want to repeat of what just happened.
Yeah.
Look at this guy. So Snowman is adopted the Eagles as his second team. Shout out to him for that.
No Niners fans. No. Come on,
But
man. You can't adopt the NFC team.
But he wants to see us both play in the championship game. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
King DV Sports appreciate that, the facts. And then Goddard versus Kittle. I like that.
I like that too.
I like that.
If you're saying you like that because they're both about the second best in the league, then I agree.
Hey man, however you feel about this, how you feel about that. I'm just saying I like the Goddard versus Kittle.
I'm just calling it how I see it.
No, we're not going to those rabbit holes with you tonight, sir. No, sir.
Gotta keep them on track, man. Gotta keep.
Yeah, we know how you and those rabbit holes go. We know.
I liked watching the broadcast because when they were breaking down everything, because it seemed like they planned to have Goddard pretty much involved with this because they kept talking about how Houston's defense was always running like the Tampa 2, and there's always that one little window kind of right in the middle of the field to the side that's always open, and that's where they were hitting Goddard most of the time, and they were putting up over the defenders. He was going up and getting it. Jalen was putting the ball exactly where it needed to be. And Goddard, man, he's just a beast with the yards after catch. He's just been a monster this year. So, I mean, it's just pick your poison when it comes to this Eagles offense. And that's what's so exciting week in and week out is who's going to be, running the field this week. Who's going to be that guy that's going to be just going off for 100, 150 yards or whatever, and a touchdown or two,
I'm going to bet.
I'm confident in saying there isn't a team out there, I don't care who you are defensively, that can stop everything that the Philadelphia Eagles do offensively. I don't believe there is a team.
No.
So I'm going to put that out there. I'm going to put that on tape for everybody to see from these lips to your ears. I don't think anybody can stop all the weapons that the Philadelphia Eagles have, and that's what's so beautiful. In the past, even in our better years, we've had a select group of really quality skill players, and you've been able to take them out of the game. This year, that's flipped. We've got a lot of quality weapons, so you can't take them all out. You have to pick your poison.
Yeah. The only thing that can hurt us is ourselves at that point in game planning and play calling.
So King DV says we can't have an adoption fan.
Right. Not especially not anybody from the NFC.
Listen, we got a lot of
my lady adopted the Eagles as an NFC team, but her team is the Chiefs. It can't be no NFC teams adopting us. That's like, come on, man. You got to ride with your squad, dog. And I'm riding with the Eagles. And look, man, if I got to see the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, I guess I'm sleeping on the couch that night because it's going to be so.
And if we have too many layers and our scheme is crazy. I do agree with that too, King DV, because the simple fact is, man, like we we're just saying, you take something away, you got something else. You still got running backs that aren't even really shining now, so something happens and
way too many weapons.
They're taking Sanders away. We got other guys to pop in there. Yeah,
like
you can't strategize, take everything away.
It's
and
way
this
too
comment
many
I love.
And depth.
This comment I love. Michael Parsons felt that pick your poison. He sure did. And so did your boy, what was his name? The defensive end was talking all this smack about how Hurts hadn't played nobody. And when Hurts played them, DeMarcus Lawrence, and he ended up on the ground in the backfield.
Did you see how bad it was? It's seen a meme of it.
There's a meme of it. Yeah. There's a meme of it. Well, sometimes guys get a little bit too confident. What I love, quick side note, what I love is the fact that we're not doing that. The Philadelphia Eagles team, is not doing that. We're fans, so we pop off. Like that's what we do.
Well, AJ Brown is, AJ Brown.
But as the organization, right? Of course, AJ Brown is AJ Brown, but I'm saying as an organization, you got Hurts saying, "Hey, next game, next win." You've got other guys, next game, next win. You've got everybody focused on the success and moving forward, and not what we've done so far, but what we need to do coming forward. I don't know what's going on with Rowdy Rob.
There's a ghost being haunted over there, man.
It sure is.
Oh man,
call Ghostbusters. Just
did somebody turn the light switch off behind me? Wow, shit!
Oh hell, Rowdy Rob!
Rowdy Rob. That's all we can say, man. That's all we can say.
What's going on, man?
But it's very exciting, man, because there's so much that we just have ready for, right? There's so much.
Where my light switch is right behind me, right there over that ladder. You see it right there? That's the only one. What's going on here? Look, my hands are right here. I ain't doing nothing.
Some ghosts, man.
Yeah. I'm not even gonna mess with Rowdy Rob.
Why don't you guys put a voodoo doll on me or something, man? This is wild.
But to get back on topic, because he's gonna try his best to get us off topic. That's what Rowdy Rob does. That's like the game within the game with Rowdy Rob. I just love the fact that the humbleness, right? Seriously, I just love the humbleness. Everybody's just saying we're gonna play. We're not gonna worry about what we have done. We're not gonna focus on the past. We got another game to play coming next week for the rest of the season. That's the most important thing right now. And I think they're not really overlooking anybody, but human nature sometimes, if you have a game coming up that you feel like is going to be a little bit more important, just mentally, divisional game versus that game, it's crazy.
it could be a trap game, right? And I'm glad they didn't,
Rob did say it'll get dark for the Commanders.
It's gonna be nice.
Other things,
It's gonna be nice.
You wouldn't imagine half the things. You wouldn't imagine half the things Rob says. So.
I wanted to bring up something you brought up a couple weeks ago. Cool. You said about like how you think maybe Sirianni. You brought up the idea that Sirianni and this coaching staff is kind of being very conservative with the play calling on purpose, kind of not showing your hand. Let teams study you going into the back half of the season up until playoffs. I kind of get that feeling that's what they're doing with Jalen here is what. Not only is it from a strategic point, they want him to stay in the pocket and they want him to become that kind of pocket passer and rely on his arm a little bit more, but also gives me kind of the feeling that they're also doing this strategy wise as well. That way some teams will get used to it. So they don't have like that spy that's kind of lurking, waiting for him to run. And then when they least expect it, boom, 20-yard rush or something like that. So I feel like that's a part of the game plan. They're trying to fool some of these teams. I can see it and I respect it and I like it because who knows what's going to happen comes like these last couple weeks of the season or in the playoffs. We could be seeing an offense we haven't seen all season. So who knows what they have hidden up their sleeve.
And I think too is to save him from injuries because if you got a quarterback that keeps running, you know what I'm saying? They're going to get toe up and eventually get hurt. So I think it's
Josh Allen.
Right, to save his body because they know we need him. So I think it's a little bit of both.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. So, guys, we are going to be welcomed. One of my guys, one of my cousins from another family, Commanders fan extraordinaire, Couch Coach the Commander.
Brought him back.
What's going on, man? You got me in that Eagles green I see.
Hey, man, you know how I go around here, bro. We only know about one color. What's going on?
We green or we not green?
Nothing much, man. Hey.
Now, I'll say this. Couch Coach is one of the Commanders fans I enjoy having conversations with. We do the NFC Beast together, but he's a realistic Commanders fan, right? He's not one of these guys that's out here talking about, now that we got Heineke, we about to win a Super Bowl. He's not one of those guys that's like, Carson Wentz is going to be the savior of the team. So it's refreshing to know that fan bases have guys that are level-headed. Not saying it always happens, but it's refreshing to know that it happens, sometimes. So, Couch Coach, we're just about to hop in. So you actually, I know you were a little later than you wanted to be, but you hopped in at the perfect time because our next topic, sir, is the Commanders game preview. So, sir, as our guest, as the gentleman that'll be talking Commanders with us, what's going on, man? Talk to us about this game.
It's going to be a very interesting game. I think, obviously the rematch of our week 3. And with the Commanders being 4-5, this is somewhat of a pretty much essentially a must-win game for this team, especially if you don't want to fall 0-3 in division. So I look at this Commanders team as this might be their best effort of the season because at this point, if you're 0-3 and you're 4-6, it's Cancun on 3. So it's definitely gonna be interesting of how, because and we talked about it even on Matchup Madness, how I looked at your guys were going to be a lot different when we see each other 7 weeks later, and now we've changed dynamically. Obviously, with the change of pace of Taylor Heineke, it's going to definitely be an interesting game. It's a divisional game, so it's kind of one of those things where you can kind of throw stats out the window. You can kind of throw all the logic and some talking points. It's a divisional game at the end of the day. And it's just, I think one of the keys for Washington is definitely you got to run the football effectively. I think you see what Damian Pierce did last week is really encouraging. I think for us, because I think at that time, because we didn't have it's a process. Just wait on it. We got it. I think
crazy.
I think run the ball effectively. Don't force turnovers. I think especially with a team like Philly, I wouldn't say you have to play perfect football, but you got damn near play mistake-free football because you don't want to give Philly an opportunity to score, and like I talked about it on Matchup Madness yesterday. 17 points ain't gonna cut it. 17 is cute, but cute don't win you football games.
That is facts, man. That is facts.
Yeah.
Why? What are your thoughts, man?
This is going to be a tough one, man. I mean, I talked about a little earlier in the show about how you can't overlook any team, and especially a divisional team. And Washington, with Heineke coming in, it seems like they always just seem to rally around Heineke. It seems like that team wants to play with him as their QB. So, I mean, these past couple of times we played them with Heineke, and they've kind of given us a run for our money and stuff. So I expect this to be a hard-fought, football game here. We're going to have to stop that run game that they have, or it could get out of hand, based off of what we saw in Houston. We're going to have to figure out how to shut that run game down. You guys got Chase Young coming back, right? Or did he come back last week?
No, I think he's going to play Monday, because I know they were still kind of up in the air. He was clear to practice last week.
Yeah.
So they still kind of getting him in. And that's, from what I'm thinking, it's probably more likely he will play. And I think it'll be perfect, because obviously that'll be actually the 1-year anniversary of the actual injury on November the 14th. So it would be a hell of a story if that does happen. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I mean, if he comes back, that's going to be huge for them, because I saw something yesterday or today about how much Washington was putting pressure on us when we played them last. So if you add Chase Young into the mix, that's even more pressure coming to Jalen Hurts. So I mean, that's just something that they're going to have to figure out how to game plan for. I'm sure Philly had this mark, like you mentioned earlier, Cool. They probably were kind of looking at this and kind of overlooking the Texans a little bit. But there should be a great game. I can't wait to watch it. But hopefully, hopefully Philly comes out with the dub. But man, you cannot sleep on this Washington team, especially with Taylor Heineke at QB. You're not going to get 9 sacks against Taylor Heineke in this game like you are with Carson Wentz. It's not going to happen.
Yeah,
he's safer with the ball.
Pretty much. Eagles Diva, we're going to get you in there, and then we're going to let the Rowdy one himself wrap things up with his thoughts.
I had to put my ear a little bit close to the dome when you was talking, man, because you seem real timid. So
not it, sir. I'm
what I want to say is basically I do not fear your team at all.
Yeah, we're gonna let Eagles Diva go first, and then we'll let you hop in with your.
Excuse me.
Here we go.
We let Diva go. All right, Diva, go.
Are going to let Diva go.
Look, man, I got this shit turned all the way up. I don't know what you want from me.
Lord have mercy. This is how we roll on Be Elite. But anyway,
yes, sir,
back to the program. So yeah, I mean, just echoing basically what everybody said. I don't think that we can come in and think that this is going to be a light game. Taylor Heineke is a way better rounded quarterback than Carson Wentz. He does know how to, he knows how to get the ball down the field. They have a good running game. If we don't protect Hurts, Chase Young and that D can get a lot of pressure on Jalen Hurts. So we have to do a good job of making sure that if he's going to be standing in the pocket, that we do wrap up our tackles and make sure he's protected and not get thrown to the ground. And then again, on defense, we have to wrap up. We have to tackle. And I think Gannon needs to really look at his game plan, because sometimes when he come out with them funky play calls and we just looking all over the place, he has got to get better with that. Like, he doesn't know how. It takes him a while to adjust. And so that could put us in a little bit of trouble if we start to get behind. But as always, the Eagles always figure it out. So I feel like that will be a game that we will once figure it out and overcome if we do get behind. But I don't think we'll be behind. But it'll be a good game, though. It's going to be a really good game.
All right, Rob, the floor is yours, sir.
Hey, look, my guy, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about why I don't care about Washington. Because we've done this already this year. We've already played teams with backup quarterbacks that were supposed to be good, with semi-decent running games and a beast for a defensive line. And I'm not even saying that you guys are bad. You're a good team. You're just not the Eagles. And I have no no fears. There's some stuff that we need to touch up as Eagles, of course, because Washington's lines are a bit better than Houston's, and we play you guys. And I think that, quite frankly, my cohorts right here were right. And when we were looking ahead to you guys, we didn't want this to be a trap game with Houston, but we kind of allowed it to be because we exposed some of we didn't, but they did expose some of the things going on with us. So, and I mean, who's your running back? Are you still doing the committee thing over there, or because it's not a good committee? I mean, who's your best running back? Gibson? He scored like 6 points last week in fantasy. I mean, that's horrible. Anyway, look, man, I'm not saying that you don't have a great group of receivers, though, and Heineke can ball out. So, but you got to face our secondary there, which is like 1 and 2 in the league, and like then you got the guy with the most interceptions and C.J. Gardner-Johnson. So, like, where do you win at? Like, that's what I'm thinking. Like, our team is just too dominant all around. And I think that the only thing great about Washington is their defensive line, and that's only if Chase Young is there, able to, like, give a hand to the other guys that are there because you know you're going to be doubling and tripling. But we've done that before, too. We faced a guy like him and Micah Parsons and just basically say, come on in, man. We won't block you. Come on. And then just like either ran or threw it in his direction behind them, and then it made it look bad. But look, man, it's the NFC East. I know it's going to be a good game. I'm talking a lot of shit because I know my guys and I know they're going to come out and play. Win, lose, or draw, I'm still going to bleed green. You're still going to bleed red. So whatever, you know?
For sure.
So, Couch Coach, would you like to respond to the Rowdy winner, any of the comments that's been said so far?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Hey, I mean, this is what you're supposed to have. You have that. That's what makes essentially this rivalry. You know, the talk. So it's just like, hey, at the end of the day, we'll clip this audio. I'm gonna send it to Coach Rivera and the brass and the Washington Commanders. I want to listen on that plane ride to go to Philadelphia. But I think, in all seriousness, I even look at this matchup, even in the week 3, I can kind of look at some situations where, you know, because we really only got burnt by 2 big plays. So to me, I look at that as somewhat, the 2 plays in the second quarter. Because remember, y'all didn't score in the second half. Those the Devontae Smith play and the AJ Brown play. There was only 2 plays that essentially burnt us, in essence. So to me, I look at that as kind of one of those where, and it's payback because obviously last year, Rowdy, we played on a Tuesday night with a guy that was called on a Thursday to play. So hey, it's payback. We got to go back to the link and get our lick back.
So I'm just gonna say this real quick, right? I think it's well documented. Anyone who knows me, who's seen any podcasts I've been on, how I feel about Carson Wentz. Great talent, weak mind equals a sorry quarterback. So I was not. First, I got to put what King DV said here. Look at him delusional. So, I got to throw it up there.
Hey.
Now, so I feel like you're gonna be better because you don't have a guy back there who players don't want to play for. Coaches probably don't even really want to coach. You know, guys don't want to listen to. I was at the game, and one of the things I noticed, because I was 5 rows back from the field, like in the middle on the 50. So I watched him interact on the sidelines. Guys were walking away from him. The backup quarterback was talking to him, the quarterback coach, but really nobody else. They were kind of off on their own. So he's not a guy that, and we got reports of that during the preseason. He was not a guy that had really ingratiated himself with the team. So if that's your guy that you're starting, you're not going all out for him. But you get Heineke, who probably should have won the job outright anyway, and would have if there would have been a real competition, in my opinion. He's going to make them more. You know, he's going to make them more of what I expected from the first game, which is a tight game. I do believe the Eagles are going to win. Don't get me wrong. I'm an Eagles fan. I believe the Eagles are going to win. But I think it's going to be a game we're going to have to go out there and play better than we did this past week to win. This is the Commanders. This is their only second chance to get back at us this year. We embarrassed them in that first game at home. So they're not happy about that. And now they've got their guy they want to play for back there. And I got to also say, I saw Chase Young. Okay. I saw him on the sidelines. That's a man. Okay. And for real, that's a man. And
Ohio
even in
bred.
street clothes, he's out there like. So, yeah, him out there on the field, that's going to make things a little bit more different. But on the Eagles side, I really feel like Hurts has come very far development even from that game. He's picking the right situations. If he's not able to get a good throw out of bounds, he'll just take the sack, which I'm fine with because I'd rather take the sack than make a bad throw. Obviously, I'd rather you throw it out of bounds, but if the sack is the best way for you to go to make sure you don't fumble or throw it where it can be intercepted, hey, take the sack. He's staying in the pocket more, like you guys were talking about earlier, especially what you were saying, Wyatt. So if he gets that lane in this game, he still has an ability to take off. But people aren't focused on that. They're focusing on those 250, 300-yard, 2-3 touchdown games that he's having now. So that's making him even more versatile, even more of an asset to the offense, and also making his agent kind of happy on the side over there on the phone, looking at the team like, this offseason coming, bro. You got this one. You got next one. But remember, by the end of next season. So, yeah, he's earning that. And that's what you're supposed to do. I do think the Commanders are going to come out and give us all that we can handle. It doesn't really matter. We're in a catch-22. And this is no disrespect to the Commanders, but if we lose, the NFC East is so great. We knew the Eagles weren't as good as they as the 8-0 start shows. If we win, they just beat the Commanders again. They beat them already. They're not a very good team. So it doesn't matter whatever happens. It's still going to be the same story. But
the narrative doesn't change. Right.
But the best part about that is we're 8-0 and we're being disrespected. So media, all you Twitter people with your Twitter fingers, itchy fingers, Facebook people talking all this trash, you're helping. You're not hurting. You're helping. Continue to do it. We want all the smoke. Bring it. And that's all I have to say, sir. That's all I have to say. Thank you, Rowdy Rob, for the visual. Thank you, sir.
Like, literally.
Give it to us, homie. Look, man, the fact of the matter is Jalen is so much further than we all thought he would be in this second year as a starter, basically. It's amazing. He's leading the team, and it's something extra, man. It's something that not a lot of people are going to witness again for a while because the draft classes are coming up or shit. So
his mental ability in the game and after the game, I think, is what really helps Jalen, because like football's a mental game as well, and if you're not there mentally, and he's there,
right, leading these guys too, leading Super Bowl winners. You know, that they're following him, so they know they know he's a leader. They know that he's got this, and they trust the process. Whatever it might be, they trust that he's got it under control. Whether that means he needs to go see Sirianni about, this play calling or whatever. I think we should be beating teams, and I think it goes to not showing the hand and all that other BS that you were talking about. Like, there's a second half to the season, so why would we want to give them all we got right away? Yeah. We're 8-0. Let's finish this thing 17-0 now, with the better half of the schemes.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to, going undefeated. I mean, I've said it before. Rowdy Rob's definitely not a fan of the comment, but I don't think we're going to go undefeated.
There's no need to, really, though.
No. Yeah, I don't think.
I know. I'm saying.
I think somebody's going to catch us.
Yeah.
It's not even about that, man. It's like I want to just be 15-0 and sitting already in the bye, and then rest our starters for 3 weeks.
That's a possibility. I mean, anything.
I don't really want to rest them for 3 weeks because, now I'm changing it all up and forget it. I'm going down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, you are. Yep.
He's taking himself down a rabbit hole. Yeah. If you're not going to go down, I'm going down by myself.
Right. In a spiral, buddy. I'm going.
Oh yeah. It definitely happens for sure. But Couch Coach, I wanted to ask you a quick question, man. So, as a Commanders fan, how do you feel about you guys' season so far? I know we don't play again, so you won't, be back on the show with us this year. But how do you feel about how your season's going so far? I mean, you're one game under 500. You had the worst quarterback in the division just because of this plan. How do you feel about, where you guys have been at so far this season?
It's just been a roller coaster. It's just crazy. Like, it went from kind of optimism that week one, then obviously, just the heartbreaking losses to you guys and then also to Detroit. So it's just one of those things where it's just, and now you're seeing like, the 3-game winning streak. And then also, you've had so many heartbreaking losses and to a point where it's like it got, worse before it got better with this 3-game winning streak. This is a bad time to be in last place in the NFC East. Like this would have, if this was like 2020, I think we would all be like, okay, this is great. Like we all like under 500 and kind of just struggling for position. But yeah, it's just been a roller coaster season. I mean, if we just talk about on the field and even off the field, it's really had just been a roller coaster. It's almost like I don't know what's the next turn is going to be. It's just crazy. Like every week is literally a mystery. Like what's next with this team? Like as far as, then Taylor Heineke, like what does he do in this game? Will this propel Carson Wentz coming back when we play Houston next week? So it's kind of I'm just saying, or Sam Howell. I'm just saying, you people. I'm telling you, there's a possibility. Or Sam Howell. Oh yeah, because I mean,
did you say Sam Howell? From UNC?
Yes, it is.
I mean, why not? I mean, you got to think about it. You
got to see what you got with him. You got to see what you got with him.
If you're 4-6, you need to see what you need to kick the tires because what if you like? Okay, well he sank up the joint. Okay, maybe I need to get a quarterback in 2023 in this somewhat of a robust quarterback market. I like to me because if you're 4-6, I'm a positive guy. I'm a glass half full. But I'll be real, the season's over. You can't be 0-3 and you 2 games under 500 in the NFC East. Can't cool on 3. So why not just kick the tires, see what you got these final 7-8 games left, and just see what you got with him, and then say, okay, we'll do a great evaluation with him. If he's not good, okay, we'll get a quarterback in this draft class. So
who exactly are you talking about?
Sam Howell, our 5th round draft pick.
Okay. I don't think you should try to develop Taylor Heineke, though.
That's what I was going to ask. Why aren't you sold on Heineke?
Well, the thing about
the guys want to play for him. That's something that I need as an Eagle. I want our guys in there.
Yeah, but the same token, those he has head scratching plays. Like obviously that Curtis Samuel one, where honestly, if that referee won in the dude way, if Patrick Peterson way, that would have been an interception.
Yeah, that would have been an interception. True. That's true. That's
true. The game winning play in Indianapolis. If Terry didn't strong arm Stephon Gilmore, that would have been an interception. The game would have been over. So it's kind of like. I like Taylor Heineke. I always look at Taylor Heineke as almost like a good pitch hitter. He's a guy.
Wait. You're getting mad at your guys for doing their job?
Well, no, but you got to think about those are. I'm not getting mad at that, but it's just one of the things where you can't do that week in and week out. That's my thing. You can't do this every week. Like there's a pattern every week where, like in that case, the Curtis Samuel, who you want a quarterback that throws in triple coverage? Like
true.
I mean, we had a guy that did it, and he threw a touchdown pass, so it was pretty dope. You should have saw it.
Yeah. But I mean, but that's what happened when we had our, at that time.
I guess he said they had
terrible.
I mean, I guess he said they had the other DB,
because guess what? And he in Pittsburgh now, so he in Pennsylvania, the other side of Pennsylvania.
Yeah, so the umpire, there was the other wide receiver boxing out for him. I guess that he said that made
it. That's the thing with like
Green, Waydale Field.
And Taylor Heineke is a good quarterback. Don't get me wrong. Like if he's good, like for 4 to 6 weeks, if you had a starting quarterback and your quarterback is out, almost like what Cooper Rush did in Dallas, where it's great. Like, but you can't have him the entire 17-game season. I just tell y'all that right now. No, we don't want the George. No, we're good. No,
the
Jacksonville.
Stash.
Nah, we're good off that. But
he's our backup, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
okay.
The George King.
He'll be out there.
I ain't even gonna say Gardner ain't better than everybody you got right now.
He'd be perfect for you guys, man. He'd be bringing so much energy.
Kick the tires and light the fires, boys.
Our quarterback. I think our future quarterback probably on this team. We're number 14, but It is what it is to me. I think Sam Howell is going to be that guy.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I want to see him play. I want to see him at
Hot
least
take.
for
luck on that.
December.
I think that if your guys make
You're
that
Eagles
change,
elite.
it discourages the guys on the field that are like all in on this year. And I know maybe all in isn't the right word because you don't really have the team and you're already 0-3 in the division. But what I'm saying is like your guys rally around Heineke right now.
Yeah.
And if you want to be excited about anything this year, I think you should be excited about the fact that your team wants to rally around your quarterback because they weren't doing it with Carson. That's a fact.
That's true. But that's the thing where how long this is going to last in a sense where you're going to rally behind a Taylor Heineke if he has those plays week in and week out, this is going to fizzle. Like, and that's the thing where it's just dangerous. It's like some of those passes are dangerous. And I do like the fact that I like how he can get out of the pocket and escape the pocket and make plays. Unlike what Carson Wentz did, like we said, he won't get sacked 9 times, and the thing about him, he anticipates the hit, but he'll get the ball out. And I think that's one thing I like about Taylor Heineke. Out of everything, he'll turn a play that you think is dead, he'll have a little shovel pass and give it to the running back like Curtis Samuel and at least get some yards. So I give him that. He's a backup quarterback at best, and that's great. And especially in DC. You're more popular than the president. The backup quarterback is probably the most popular person in DC. Like, regardless. I mean, we've had a track record of guys who've been our backup and been more, been popular. So he's more popular. Yeah. Kirk Cousins. Like, all kind of guys. So it's like, yeah, he's the backup quarterback for the Washington Commanders is probably the most popular person in DC. For sure.
Makes sense. All right, so guys, we'll go around the horn. We'll start with the rowdy one. Any final thoughts for the week?
No, I've said everything I want and need to say. Fly, Eagles, fly.
Eagles Diva.
Fly, Eagles, fly. Let's go.
Wyatt.
Yeah, man, I'm excited for this game. Hopefully they can go out and execute offensively, defensively. It should be a great game. Can't wait. Go Birds.
Coach, I got one thing I got to say, man.
See you in Pittsburgh. Can't wait.
Yeah. So, okay. All right. Yeah. So, Mercury Morris and the 72 Dolphins. I got some champagne on ice. Let's sip on it on Tuesday morning. Come pull up to the crib. I got y'all.
I love it. I love it.
Go.
One thing y'all know about me, right? I love it. Hey, whether it's against me, for me, whatever, I love confidence. I love, you know what I'm saying? I love the little underhanded shots. It gives me pleasure. So appreciate that. Shout out to everyone in the chat, especially our guy King DB Sports for hanging out with us.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. Good commentaries down there, buds. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Appreciate
so, man, another week. We're going to go ahead and get up out of here. But remember, #the elite, fly Eagles fly. If you're seeing the replay, which I know a lot of people are, appreciate y'all just as much. Hop in with us live when you can, but we understand life, things happening. But hey, as long as you're watching, we all elite. Next week, we'll be back with more. And I believe, as well as 3 of the other people here on the show, that we're going to be 9-0.
9-0.
One guy doesn't think that. Somebody's going to be wrong. Good people, enjoy the rest of your night. Appreciate y'all tuning in.
Peace out, gang.
We out of here.
Peace out.